I don't read really quickly. And it's a strange thing. And most people who have watched my videos have heard this message from me before, but I really don't. What happens is when I'm reading, I'm very easily distracted. It's got nothing to do with the fact that I read something like, oh, like the cat sat on the mat. I don't read like that. I read like this. The cat sat in the mat. But then the little OCD Tennessee Fats in the back of my head quips up and he says, well, what mat? And what color is that mat? And wait a minute, where is that mat? Why is that mat? And why is there a cat? And why are we reading a book about a cat? I don't understand. That's the little OCD idiosyncrasy that sits in the back of my head all of the time. And quite frankly put, it's exhausting. It really is. So when I'm reading, it could be a very short piece of material, but for me to get through it takes a fair amount of time because of these easy distractions. It's very rare when I get a story that's so involved where I sit down and I go, because I've sat down and I've started reading, but then I look up and I'm done moments later. That is very rare for me. It hardly ever happens. Well, it happened today, and it happened with something that I'm very happy about. Let me show you what it is. Conan the Barbarian #1 from Titan Comics. Now, this was the first issue of the regular series that's going to be coming out from Titan Comics. It's got Robert De La Torre, the artist, and Jim Zub is the writer. Jim Zub, I've heard a fair number of podcasts now where you've talked about this particular character and his history with Conan, as well as his actual role-playing activities, which is very interesting and gives you a lot of good background as to where he's approaching Conan from. And I gotta tell you, I'm very happy with this creative team. For those of you who have seen my video where I reviewed #0, and I'll put a link up to it over here, something like that. If you've seen that, you know I was fairly excited about #1. Now, what invariably happens though is when you go into something with an expectation of here, and then even though it produces here and it's bang at level for you, your expectation just beats that thing down. You come out going, really? Did that give me everything that I wanted from it? That's what I waited all that time for? Well, I'm pleased to say #1 of this did not do that to me. I was very excited about this series when I read #0. 0 had very little writing in it, but it actually gave me a good picture of where they were going with this character. And as a Conanophile, I'm telling you, I really enjoyed this. #1 was so good though, that when I sat down and turned the first page, I suddenly found I'd finished the story and went, whoa! It held my attention all the way through because it was just like reading a Savage Sword of Conan story for the very first time. It was just like sitting down and seeing it. If you see a piece of work, go from the beginning of the story to the end of the story with a self-contained thing, but with a lead off that tells me, oh, this is the direction we're going in. Everybody, if you're thinking about picking this up and you have not picked this up yet, trust me, if you're a Conanophile, you want to. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to throw any other spoilers in this. I'm not going to throw any other material in this and no interior images. You can go and Google it yourself if you want to do that and ruin the whole experience for you. But I'm telling you, what you want to do is go pick it up, sit down in a quiet place with a cup of coffee, and enjoy yourself some Conan. Everybody, hope you enjoyed this one. We'll see you in the next video.